One mistake I see a lot of people doing when getting started in property is thinking they need to be spread thin, i.e. doing multiple strategies to be able to succeed in property. And in actual fact, you only need one strategy to be able to succeed in property. My name is Alfred Dzadey. I have built a £4 million portfolio within 3 years. So what do I mean by needing only one strategy to be able to succeed in property? Well, when you get into property world, there's so many different strategies out there, right? There's talking about buy-to-lets, there's talking about HMOs, there's talking about land conversions, sourcing, deal sourcing. There's so many different things, rent-to-rents, that are all being thrown at you, right? And there's a lot of educators out there that I feel like aren't doing justice in terms of being able to get people to actually realize what is the one thing they got to focus on and actually gets them to the outcome, and actually fixating on that one thing. Rather, they get kind of told, oh, there's this option, there's that option, there's this option, there's that option, and kind of just get thrown that and kind of say, well, you pick what you think, but actually aren't giving them the tools to decide even what is the right thing to pick. So the main reason why I say you got to get focused on one strategy, because I don't know if you've kind of come across this terminology before. When you have your energy split across multiple different things, generally speaking, you aren't going to move that far ahead versus if you had your energy all focused on one thing. Just to put some numbers around it, if you had 4 different things and you put 25% of your energy across the 4 different things versus one thing where you put 100% of your energy towards that one thing, the thing that would move the furthest would obviously be the one thing you're putting 100% focus on, right? So a lot of people get into property and want to be a master of like everything. I'm like, why would you even want to do that? I don't know where you got that from, but I'm trying to share a perspective for myself, which is you don't need to master all these different strategies out there. You need to pick the one that actually helps you get you closer to your outcome. So for a lot of people, it's like, I want to gain high cash flow, I want to build financial freedom. For me personally, the thing I came to property for was I wanted ownership and I wanted high cash flow. Those are the 2 main things that allowed me to kind of decide, okay, what strategy fits my outcome. And it's not a complicated decision to even make. I mean, again, people get lost in what strategy should I do? What's the best one for me? It's like, what do you want from property? Property is a capital injection strategy or can be a cash flow strategy. So i.e. getting income from property or getting lump sums of money from property. So generally speaking, if you're wanting to get lump sums of money from property, you've got to look at flipping property. So you buy a property, renovate, you flip it on to the market to hopefully sell that. And if you want to look at income, you want to look at, okay, how can I get income from property? And some might just want something where they can control the asset and still make money from. So something like rent to rent. And also rent to rent, you can do like a HMO strategy. So i.e. you rent to multiple tenants, or you can do a short-term rental, i.e. Airbnb, to be able to make money from that. So those are kind of like literally the stuff. There's obviously higher levels like commercial conversions, there's developments, those are like another level of up of investing. And all these things can provide you lump sums of money as well. Like commercial conversions, if you're retaining an asset, obviously again, can be a high income strategy. And if you're doing developments and you're looking to buy and sell, that can be a lump sum of money as well, made from that strategy. Or if you're looking to retain an asset, and again, that could be another high income strategy. So there isn't really much to really consider apart from the simple question of like, what is the key things? Is it control? Is it ownership? Is it high cash flow, low cash flow? That will determine which strategy best fits. Now, once you've understood that strategy, that is the one for you. In my case, BR or HMO, like I said, was the strategy I went for because I believe that it ticked the boxes of ownership and also providing me high cash flow. So that's the one I went for. And I just like blocked out all the rest because there's so many different things you can do in property. Like there's even something called deal sourcing where you can find a property, find an investor who's looking for a property, and they can pay you a fee for finding them the property. And you can obviously do this and rent and repeat this model several times over, right? But again, this requires time to build this up. So just get good at that one thing that you think is going to serve you best, i.e. get you to your outcome. And the one mistake I see a lot of people doing is coming into the property and thinking, oh, I need to do a bit of deal source, I need to do a bit of rent to rent, I need to do a bit of HMO, I need to do a buy to let. And they never really go anywhere. They're just bouncing from one strategy to another because they try one, it's a bit difficult, it didn't work out. So for example, they might start with deal sourcing. This is a typical one. They start with deal sourcing, they want to try and source properties for investors. Okay, cool, let's try that for a couple of months. I'm really struggling to find an investor to source, or I'm finding deals but investors isn't buying the deal or paying me for the deal because the deal isn't good enough, or they don't like the deal for whatever reason. So it's not working out for them. Then they jump on something, okay, let me try rent to rent. I can see if I can build some cash flow. Let me find some landlords that want to lease their property to me and allow me to be able to make more money from it by renting it out to other people, whether it's on a short-term let basis or it's on a HMO basis, i.e. renting to multiple tenants. And again, they struggle to find landlords that are willing to agree a price which makes sense for them to still make profit on this property after giving them a guaranteed rent on this property. And so again, they could do another 6 months, even 12 months trying to execute a strategy, but nothing really fruitions. And now they just they're confused, maybe even demotivated, don't even want to do property anymore because they're like, this is too hard. They aren't getting anywhere with this. But actually, in actual fact, any strategy you decide to do, for me, my opinion is like, you've got to really look at this like a 2-year time frame. If you haven't done the strategy 2 years, like lived, breathe, eat that strategy for 2 years, that is not long enough to be able to determine whether you're good at it or not good at it, or it didn't work or work for you. So you need to have been in the game long enough, and more importantly, focused on that one thing, and not get distracted by all this shiny penny syndrome of looking at one property strategy today and then tomorrow looking at another property strategy. You've got to hone down on one thing. The reason why I was able to scale so rapidly was because I focused on HMO as my key strategy. I did not deviate. I have got friends that were making money in other strategies, and I just understood that this is the one thing that serves me. So I'm going to focus on that because that's what is important to me. That's what gets me to my outcome. I've got to block out all the noise and stop trying to listen to how someone is doing well in their strategy versus what someone else is doing in their strategy, and then starting to kind of maybe dabble in, let me go try this out. No, stop trying to jump from one strategy to another strategy. I promise you, if you fixate on that one strategy for a long enough period, you will see success. All strategies do work to a certain extent. Some vehicles are much harder, some vehicles are much easier. In my opinion, all vehicles are genuinely hard. Like, it doesn't really matter what you decide to do. Some are more rewarding than others. So like for me, I'm more biased towards ownership. So I'm not really a person that is favoring control strategies such as trying to get a rent run off a landlord and trying to, in essence, make some cash flow from that property. I've always seen long-term building of wealth. So I want ownership. I want to be able to generate cash flow from that property as well. And that's what I see as the value. So I wouldn't conform or do something outside of that because it just doesn't align with my goals and what my outcomes are of trying to be financially free, location free, time free. These other things don't give me that. And some might argue differently as well, but I'm not here to discuss that. But the point of this video is you've got to stay focused on one. Stop jumping. If you're watching this video and you're like, I've spent the last 6 months jumping strategies, like just maybe go back to the drawing board and maybe just say, look, what is it I'm looking to get in property with? Obviously, I told you how to go about doing that. Assess that for yourself. Then decide, okay, out of these strategies I'm looking at, what am I going to commit to for the next 12 months, 24 months to make sure that I see something come out of this? And sometimes it just takes a bit while to get the start you need. But once you get a start, the momentum builds from there and then you go on to build more and more and more. So I'll encourage you not to give up on yourself. And like, it does take a while. Some get a great start and we're not all the same, right? We're not all built the same. So just stick at it long enough to see the outcome. The only thing you need to believe in your mind is that people have achieved results from the same strategy you're trying to do. So now you've got to be self-critical as to why they've achieved and you haven't. You might be thinking you're putting in the work versus the actual work that they put in to achieve the outcome they want. So you've got to assess that for yourself as well to understand, okay, are you actually like for like doing the same level of work? Have you got the right information, more importantly as well, to be able to do the thing that you're trying to do? Because that is a big factor in you being able to succeed as well. So if you're not maybe making a progress as well, it could be that you have the wrong information. You might have got the wrong educator who's trying to teach you how to do stuff, but maybe it isn't really clicking for you, isn't working for you for whatever reason. So again, have you got the right information to allow you to actually make this happen? Super, super important. Because ultimately, if you've got the wrong information, doesn't matter how long you do it for, right? You're just never going to see a result from it because you just have the wrong information. So super key that the person you're learning from has done the thing you're trying to do and therefore can teach you how to do it, and for you to be able to see the same outcome as they have. So the key message here is one strategy can allow you to succeed in property. You haven't got to do multiple strategies to be able to get to the financial goal or target you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to get 10K, 15K, 20K, like I've achieved that target and even higher with one strategy. So it proves the point of what I'm trying to say is like just one strategy alone allows you to get to your outcome. You haven't got to do a bit of this, do a bit of that. And then someone might even say, I want to diversify my strategy. Stop. It's stupid. Like, stop. I don't know where you got it. I know where you got it from, but you're not at the right level to diversify. Like, people like talk about, how you need to diversify and just do different things and just make sure your eggs all aren't in one basket. No. I know business owners and just kind of generic business, right? I know businesses that are just one industry, one niche, and are making tens of millions a year. They haven't thought, let me just branch into this, let me do this. No, it makes money. Like, why would you look elsewhere? They are diversified through clientele. Every client is different, right? So that's clearly a form of diversification. If you're buying houses in different locations. So that's, again, another form of diversification. You've got tenants, right? Again, you can diversify in tenant profile if you want to diversify, whether it's students, whether it's professionals, whatever the demographic of tenants you want to have in your property. That, again, is a form of diversification. Having multiple tenants is another form of diversification. You haven't got to complicate this and overthink, oh, I need to have 7 streams of income. No, you don't. One stream of income, like I said, I know business owners that are making tens of millions, like with one form of income, nothing more. Most industries can generate you tens of millions. You're trying to become a millionaire, for sure, one niche, one skill set, one strategy will allow you to be able to get there. You don't need to be doing 10 different things. Once you've made your first few mil and you want to have, get into another industry or even invest passively into other industries, by all means you can. At that point, you actually risk money. Like it's fine. But until then, like you don't need to be exploring all these other things. You've got to just stay focused to your true goal, true outcome. Set a target. Once you achieve that, if you want to diversify, by all means do so. But until then, stay focused. So I hope that's been valuable for you to kind of rethink and reframe your mind of what it takes to be able to succeed in property, or more importantly, just to be able to achieve a level of success in property. So more importantly, allowing you to get to your outcome, and then you can build from there. So guys, I hope that makes sense. Obviously, if you're looking to get into BRRHM as a strategy, as you know already, I teach a strategy. I've taught a lot of people to get started in this alongside raising capital. If you're interested in doing so, obviously I'll let the link in the description for you to reach out to myself and my team to talk about how we can work together and help you get to your outcome as well. So guys, I shall see you on the next video. Take care.